Hi, I've been recording a few numbers written by Jimmie Rodgers, and I think he's incredibly important to our kind of music. And you can hear in the background him singing T for Texas. But who was Jimmie Rodgers? And this is my little tribute, if you don't mind, about this. The singing brakeman, the blue yodeler. James Charles Rodgers was born in September 1897 and he died in May 1933, aged at 35. American singer-songwriter, musician, who rose to popularity in the late 20s and largely recognised as the father of American country music. He was born, probably, in Meridian, Mississippi, or possibly in Geiger, Alabama, the home of his grandparents. Jimmie's desire to be an entertainer began when he was only 13, organising local entertainments. This was seemingly disapproved of by his dad, who hoped that he would make a career working on the local railway or railroad. And it was there that it's thought that he learned some of his singing and guitar playing skills from the other workers there. Later he became a brakeman on the New Orleans and Northeastern Railroad, hence his title, a singing brakeman. He used to wear his kind of uniform cap and bib and braces type things. In 1924, aged 27, he was diagnosed with TB, tuberculosis, which he thought had ended his railroad career, but it gave him an opportunity to focus on his real passion, which of course was singing and playing and performing. In fact, he travelled around with a little circus type thing, you know, a tent with some other performers, until a cyclone destroyed his tent. So he went back home and returned to the railroad as a brakeman. But eventually his illness made it impossible for him to continue. He moved to Tucson in Arizona, working as a switchman. I don't know what that is, on the railways, but soon returned with his wife and his daughter Carrie. His wife Carrie and his daughter Anita settling back in Meridian in early 1927. In April of that year, he and two sidemen travelled to Asheville, North Carolina, and performed for the first time on radio, WWNC, Asheville's first radio station apparently. Bit of a step up. I've recorded on a few radio stations, never did any good for me. In August of the same year, he auditioned for Ralph Peer at the now famous Bristol Sessions, where he also discovered the Carter Family and quite a few other acts. Peer agreed to record him the next day, and he was meant to be performing as a trio, but he had some sort of dispute with his sidemen and recorded two tracks, Soldier Sweetheart and Sleep Baby Sleep, for which he received $100. His sister-in-law, Elsie McWilliams, was a musician and helped him write some of the songs, and she would become his most frequent songwriting partner. She co-wrote nearly 40 songs for Rodgers. I'm not sure how many exactly he and Elsie wrote, but it seems that he recorded 109 songs between the 24th August 1927 and May 1933, and I have this collection of 5 albums with 109 songs on it. It was his last session, which was the 24th of May 1933, when he recorded Old Love Letters, Mississippi Delta Blues, Somewhere Down the Dixon Line, and Years Ago. He died 2 days later in New York. His performances and his recordings enabled him to build his dream house for his family in Kerrville in Texas, probably there because for his health. He was a man of the people. Rodgers maintained friendships with his old pals and bandmates. He didn't let show business go to his head. and he was noted for his charm and personality and his legendary generosity to strangers, his habit of giving impromptu performances, and willingness to chat and spend time with his fans. At the time of his death, he accounted for around 10% of RCA Victor's sales in a drastically depressed record market. So, little thing, the reason that I have this guitar, which is a Collins version of a 00028 12 fret, is because that was the model, or 00045 Martin, that that Jimmy used in his later years. He started off with Wayman guitars. I think he had 2 or 3 Wayman guitars, and then he had a 00018, all 12 frets of course, because this was before the 14 fret craze in the 30s, and I don't know, it seemed to be the appropriate guitar to play Jimmie Rodgers songs on. So I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope that's of interest. Let me know your content. Your comments and criticisms are always welcome. I'm going to stop now before he starts another song. Thanks a lot. Bye.